The day this happened, I was actually reporting on a murder-suicide in the Kennesaw area, which was a big story for that day too. And then we started, I working along with Channel 2 reporter Ross Cavett and radio reporter Pete Combs. Both of them were starting to hear some scanner traffic about a child left in a car in the Cumberland Mall area. I wasn't very far from there, so I headed straight to the mall, to the shopping center off Acres Mill Road to see if there was any truth to it. When I got there, police and firefighters were there. It didn't seem like they had been there very long. It was still within probably 10 to 15 minutes of when this father, when we later learned that the father pulled into the shopping center and pulled his child out of the car. There were crowds gathering kind of on the sidewalk, and I was the first reporter there, and I started asking people, what do you know? Is it a boy or a girl? Is he alive? Did he make it to the ambulance? And people were saying no, he didn't survive. Then I realized that the little boy was right on the concrete. Apparently his father, we've now learned his father pulled him out of the back seat and just set him on the concrete to start CPR or to try to revive the child. Later on he was covered up, but it was heartbreaking to know that it was a hot day. We know how hot the pavement is, and there's a little boy lying dead on the ground. It was horrible. It was horrible. A police spokesman got some information and was finally ready to share probably a little after 5 o'clock. So at this point, we're still within an hour of when the child's been declared dead. And all the spokesman could tell us at that point was that his father said he went to work that day at a nearby office and was supposed to take his son to daycare, but had forgotten him and didn't realize that his son was in the car until he left work and drove a couple miles and turned into what the father said was the first place he could get to, which was the shopping center, to try to help the boy. I couldn't even look at the public information officer when he was giving us the information. Just at that point, we didn't know if there were charges, if it was accidental. All we had was the father's story to police, and police relayed it so quickly. I couldn't look. It was awful. How am I going to report this story when I'm ready to cry right now? It could be anybody's child. And then we learned that the father had been combative, was the word they said, just wasn't really cooperating with police. They put him in handcuffs. At that point, it still seemed like maybe just a grieving parent. I mean, I didn't have any indication that there would be criminal charges at that point. So we learned that he had been charged within probably 5 or 6 hours of being taken to headquarters. He was originally charged with felony murder and cruelty to children. He was booked into the Cobb jail, and so by the next morning, his mugshot was available, and he was an inmate in jail. My initial thought was, wow, there's more to the story. Police must have uncovered something after the initial report from the father. They must have new information. They must know something. I felt like the felony murder charge, that they had to have proof. That's not something that they don't take that charge lightly, and I didn't think that they would have in this case. If anything, it makes it harder to make sure you're being fair. I have to work extra hard to make sure I'm not including my own personal beliefs, and I'm sticking to the facts. There were rumors all swirling in this case. I mean, we chased a lot of rumors. I think that all added into it. I think it just pulled me more into the story emotionally because I'm a parent. But I think above all, the story has made me and others maybe take a break and say, whoa, what could be more important than my child in the backseat of the car?